Since the rise of the law of attraction and most recently the law of assumption, there are so many different methods that we are now being encouraged to try. Methods that do work for many when applied effectively, but with so many different techniques and teachings being presented almost daily, it could feel as though the dish is being over-seasoned, while the main ingredients are being drowned out. Not to mention, where is the scientific proof? It's beautiful that there is now an array of options for us to choose from with regard to bettering ourselves and experiencing the most from life, but it is still important to remember the proven fundamentals to creating your dream reality. Today we're going to go through the core things that, when applied, will make you magnetic and will shift your reality according to both spirituality and research. If you just applied these tips and worked towards forming them into habits, things will get better. A positive mindset is not forced, but rather gently cultivated. Embracing a positive mindset just means applying a certain level of awareness and mindfulness to each circumstance that you are presented with. In short, the core of a positive mindset consists of 3 traits: the ability to look at what you do like, the ability to tune out what you don't like, and the ability to notice the good things in crappier situations. A better way for me to illustrate a healthy positive mindset would be for me to compare it to toxic positivity. Toxic positivity would be denying others the freedom to speak about their concerns and fears in your presence, whereas a positive mindset rooted in awareness would allow yourself to be the shoulder for them to cry on without allowing their negative perspective to influence your positive one. And you would be able to do this because of your awareness to the fact that though your friend may be experiencing a profound heartbreak, she or he will not be there forever. They will come out on the other side wiser and stronger and will eventually love and be loved again. We can apply that same example to yourself. Toxic positivity would be denying yourself the freedom to grieve the end or loss of a relationship, whereas a positive mindset would be compassionate and would allow yourself to feel that heartbreak and to learn something positive from it when you're ready, never losing sight of the fact that you will overcome this and be better off for it, eventually learning to love and be loved again. Toxic positivity resists negativity. True positivity simply observes it while staying aware that it certainly will pass. In summation, you could be in the middle of a storm, but you don't let that storm get inside of you. That's positivity. This example would be a perfect illustration of the 3rd trait of a true positive mindset, which is the ability to notice the good things in crappier situations. The 2nd and 3rd traits, the ability to look at what you do like and tune out what you don't like, is only a matter of controlling your attention. Simply put, if you don't like the way a person is dressed, don't look at them. If you find yourself in a situation that has absolutely nothing to do with you and you feel or are powerless to change it, don't look at it. Instead, place your attention on the aspects of life that you do like. Place your attention on the solutions. Absolutely nothing good is magnetized to the person who prefers to constantly criticize situations that they will not solve. We'll get more into the research on this in the coming chapters. According to Abraham Hicks, the best way to accomplish an improved environment is to focus upon the best things about where you currently are. So this does not mean that you delude yourself into believing that everything is okay when your house is burning down around you. All this means is that you become more aware to the fact that, yes, though my house is burning down, me and my family, we made it out okay. Now, this might be a dramatic example, but I'm hoping you get the point. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have abundance. Your gratitude is magnetic, and the more gratitude you have, the more abundance you magnetize. Expressing gratitude is a cornerstone habit of both many religions and the law of attraction, but I especially love it because it has actually been explored in several studies by accredited researchers. Psychologists Dr. Robert Emmons and Dr. Michael McCullough published a study in 2015 that was intended towards researching the physical outcomes of practicing gratitude. So they brought in a group of subjects and divided them into 3 smaller groups. All of the groups were instructed to keep a journal where they would write in daily. The first group was told to write about situations that displeased them, while the second group was instructed to write about mundane things which they felt completely indifferent towards. The final group was told to write about situations and events that they were grateful for. At the end of the study, which lasted 10 weeks, each group was asked to report how they felt both physically and generally about life. The gratitude group reported feeling more optimistic and positive about their lives than the other groups. In addition, the gratitude group was more physically active and reported fewer visits to a doctor than those who wrote only about their negative experiences. There is a lot of very interesting information within this article, including the long-term effects that gratitude may have on the hypothalamus, so I will leave a link to it in the description box for your interest. Some other mentioned benefits of practicing gratitude and generosity include anxiety reduction, stress regulation, improved sleep quality, greater pain tolerance, improved self-esteem, blood pressure control, decreased glucose levels, and more. I do want to make it abundantly clear that though I have heard many testimonies hailing gratitude as a miracle treatment, I am not yet totally sold on the evidence that may suggest that gratitude alone can alleviate a person of all of these physical symptoms, although I can see how it may be hormonally connected. We have seen studies of serotonin, or the happy molecule, being released when gratitude is present. Similarly, oxytocin seems to fire again when gratitude is expressed, which is incredibly helpful for creating deeper bonds within relationships. According to the National Institutes of Health, oxytocin plays a role in the control of neuroendocrine stress responses by inhibiting the secretion of adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH. That's a big word. And thus decreasing the production and release of cortisol. Cortisol being the stress hormone, which is released after adrenaline in times of fight or flight, or just in times of high stress. It releases glucose from your liver, so you get the burst of energy necessary to fight that perceived enemy. And if you're a diabetic, I can see how an unauthorized release of glucose could be a problem. A body that is under constant stress will not effectively prioritize healing, even if you're not currently dealing with any medical diagnosis. I do feel it is safe to say that living in a state of constant negativity and stress just isn't good for you mentally and eventually physically. According to Dr. Nikki Stamp, a Perth-based cardiothoracic surgeon, during times of emotional upheaval, our brains set off a cascade of physical responses that can impact on our physical health. She goes on to say, we see changes in our heart rate and blood pressure. We release more stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Our blood gets a bit stickier. Our immune system can be a bit vulnerable, and our sleep can be disturbed. The purposes of sleep are vast. During sleep, the body performs tissue growth and repair, allowing healing and restoration to occur. It's also the time when the brain clears away stuff it doesn't need, making room for the stuff it does need. Healthy weight maintenance, stress relief, improved mood, immune system restoration, improved cognitive function, which rules focus, and we'll get back to that in a sec, regulated blood sugar, have all been perks closely associated with adequate sleep. Sleep and all the glorious benefits of it seems to be obstructed when cortisol is chronically high. In other words, when stress and negativity is chronically high or has become a sort of lifestyle. So within this vein, I can see how gratitude may alleviate some of physical ailments as well as psychological ones. Adequate sleep, a healthy diet, exercise, healthy social interactions, just a general positive, healthy lifestyle makes you feel better physically and mentally. And it's the mental part that sticks out to me within this video, because you may find it quite difficult to stick to new habits intended to better you when you are generally unhealthy with no real interest in or access to recovery. You may find it very difficult to focus on what it is that you want when your hormones are all being unruly. It is incredibly challenging to just think positive when you're in a chronic state of stress, which is just one reason why I do feel it is important to look after yourself and your health to the best of your ability. Doing your part in maintaining a healthier lifestyle is beneficial to your overall well-being and consequently to your self-improvement journey. Self-love may seem like an unrelated topic, but practicing daily doses of this is beneficial towards attracting and achieving your aspirations. Self-love is expressed in a variety of ways. Self-care is just one version. Establishing healthy boundaries is another type. Delayed gratification is yet another. When you regularly practice any activity that expresses a healthy love for yourself, you instill within your subconscious that you are of value and you do deserve wonderful things. What I find interesting about the law of assumption is that it heavily encourages us to live in the end state. And when that is done correctly, you will find yourself living in a much more relaxed manner. More generosity, not only to others, but also to yourself, tend to become part of your daily life. In the end state where you have what you want, you have little reservations about taking a night off to focus on you. Maintaining healthy boundaries becomes easier because you've built an abundance mindset, so you're no longer afraid to say no. Delaying instant gratification begins to seem logical because your self-worth has increased. You no longer believe that you deserve fast food on the daily, but rather a home-cooked meal with far more nutritious value, specifically catered to your needs. In my opinion, self-love and the law of assumption sort of orbit each other. They're very closely related. Use whatever excuse you can to vibrate in harmony with those things you've been saying you want. And when you do, those things that are a vibrational equivalent flow into your experience in abundance. Whether you review your goals in the morning or you prefer to fall asleep in visualization, spending some time each day focusing on your goals is definitely recommended. This is advice we've received from both psychologists and neuroscientists to spiritual leaders, ancient and modern time. For science, the benefits of visualization is explained through neuroplasticity and the reticular activating system, or RAS. For spirituality, it's explained through, well, spiritual beliefs with a heavy influence from quantum physics. I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining visualization in this video because I do have 2 more points that I really want to cover, but what I will add is this. Visualization can be done in a variety of ways. Scripting is actually one form of visualization because as you write about what you want in the present tense, images of those subjects come to mind. Vision boards are another form of visualization for obvious reasons. The Neville Goddard technique, known as SATS, is visualization. The I remember when technique is rooted in visualization. Almost every method that you've been told to try has its roots in visualization. So the point is, visualize daily. Joy Ito, director of the MIT Media Lab, encourages us to use a principle called compass over maps. In the book Whiplash, How to Survive Our Faster Future, both he and another author named Jeff Howe wrote, "In an increasingly unpredictable world moving ever more quickly, a detailed map may lead you deep into the woods at an unnecessarily high cost. A good compass, though, will always take you where you need to go." It doesn't mean that you should start your journey without any idea where you're going. What it does mean is understanding that while the path to your goal may not be straight, you'll finish faster and more efficiently than you would have if you had trudged along a pre-planned route. The reason why any LOA or spiritual guru encourages us to let go of the outcome while living in the end state has a lot to do with relativity. As Einstein has been more or less quoted saying, "Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour and it seems like a minute." That is relativity. I'll come back to this in a moment. Detaching from a specific outcome enables you to automatically reduce the fear and doubt of never actually having your desires. A lot of the attachment that we have towards our outcome is really just based in our perfectionistic needs to control. But when we lean too heavily on that desire to control every last detail, we find it challenging to trust the process, and damn, I said it again. The road from where you are to where you're going will not be straight. I take road trips within Ontario all the time, and with a lot of my experiences, when I'm trying to head east, my GPS will lead me north. But that's only because there's a giant body of water obstructing me from heading east right from the start. Now, if I don't trust that process, I'll drive into a lake and drown. And it's the same thing with analytics. If a creator only looks at this, it appears they're flopping. But if they look at this, it's obvious they're doing just fine. Now back to relativity. Attaching to a specific outcome and worrying about delays and wondering, why isn't it coming? When will it show up? Is akin to putting your hand on a hot stove and feeling like it's been an hour when, honey, it's only been a minute. Now, burning your hand on a hot stove, I reckon wouldn't feel too good. But if we know that like attracts like, and what you want would feel good, then by you placing your attention on ideas that feel bad would be attracting more bad. You may indeed achieve what you want, provided you don't give up, which you would be more inclined to do because your hand is on a hot stove. But it will feel like an hour has gone by and you would have accumulated more battle scars than were necessary. When you are truly living in the end state and you are truly trusting the process, you are not Googling videos on why isn't it working? What's up with this time delay? Because you've already accepted that it's already done and you're on your way, and that's that. I want to start talking with my hands more. The last tip is more of a personal one for me, and the reason why I'm throwing it in is because it has helped me immensely to practice all of the above. Remember, darling, you're immortal. It is a certainty that you and I will die one day. Mortality is an incredibly uncomfortable thought for the majority of us. It is not quite yet understood how to reconcile that fact without facing discomfort. However, for me, it has been incredibly beneficial. Just remembering that one day, any day, I will expire. Understanding that my time is truly my most precious resource has helped me to spend each day on what brings me full happiness and on working towards what will make me even happier in the future for however long it will be. So, if there is a problematic person in my life who doesn't want to be there but also won't let me go, I can let them go, or at least minimize my attachment to them for the purpose of spending my time wisely. If there is a goal that I truly want to have, I can take the steps necessary towards it today because my time truly is limited, and it'd be nice to experience that wish before my time runs out. Above all else, experience as much peace and beauty in each day as you can. And why not start now, as opposed to some elusive later that may never come for you? Remembering your mortality puts your entire life into perspective today. In conclusion, these 7 core methods are the necessities towards getting what you want, with the last one being more of a personal tip. Whether you totally believe in the law of attraction or assumption, or you prefer to base your beliefs purely on science, everything in this video has been backed up by both fields. And I always like to say, where spirituality and science meet is normally the truth. And with that being said, thank you for watching this video. I truly do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I trust you'll give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content just like this one. So how did you like today's video, and what video would you like to see next? You let me know in the comment section down below. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Toodles.